Hello, everybody, and welcome to Atheist Sunday School, your one-stop shop for everything Atheist Sunday and school. And boy, do we have a show for you today.
Wow, that was a lot better than on the Friday show.
Yeah, that was really
Got a
bad
lot
on the
of
Friday
practice.
show. Yeah, yeah. This one we're much more accustomed to. So today we are going over Psalms 33 through 37.
But before we get into it, let's do the 100-point show.
Yes, and I have my 100-point show question ready. I was doing a lot of research last night, and I was like, I have a lot of time. I'm going to figure out what the 100-point show question will be. So I did that thing.
Okay.
Constantine. Okay, this one's actually kind of funny. Constantine the Great and his second wife Fausta had a daughter. What was her name?
Ophelia.
That is incorrect.
Oof.
Sophie?
Also incorrect.
Damn.
And the answer is Constantina. I was like, is this entire empire just like some historical joke?
That's a hell of an ego trip.
Like Constantine had some sons named Constantius,
And Considious.
and Constans, and then his daughter was named Constantina. Like, are you fucking kidding me? This is how comedy is written.
Yeah.
Like, if you want a fake sister, you just like, instead of Lawrence, like, yeah, I have a sister. Like, her name is Laurencia.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. And all you do is, like, shave your beard.
Yeah,
And,
exactly.
like, throw on some makeup and,
It's like my
yeah, I'm Laurencia.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's my 100-point show question. In Sonic Adventure 2, what is the name of the first level that you play as Shadow the Hedgehog on?
fuck. I know the hero mode way better.
Shadowy Abyss.
No. Chris, you have a guess?
Galaxy something.
No.
Damn.
Lost Highway.
Lost
Highway.
Good level, by the way.
Oh, what was the hero one again? I had that in my head. Just
City Escape.
City Escape, of course. Yeah,
Yeah.
the name of the song, too. I got a 100-point question.
Okay. Shoot.
All right. So, in the Super Mario Galaxy speedrun community, one person was named after a strat because he did not want to be named after strats. And they keep using him for every other new strat that comes out. What is the name of the first strat that was named after him, and what is his name? It is the Skip, something Skip. His name's Skip.
Is it Strat?
No, man, that's not
Ooh.
his streamer name. No, try again because that was a dumb guess.
Overworld Skip.
Wow, no,
Overworld Skip.
it's the streamer name.
I don't know.
No idea.
Dramp.
Okay.
It's called the Dramp Skip.
Drown.
Okay.
Yeah, and every other Skip is named after him too. So they've got Dramp Snow and Dramp Sphinx, and he just hates it.
Wow. Well, that's amazing. Hey, some announcements. First of all, a cult Nazi video. I'm working on going through Blavatsky's commentary on the Vedas, and also, I mean, it's a little helpful. And she was nuts.
Yeah,
Right,
she
like-
was.
Let's be fair. She was completely nuts.
And if do we have that commentary, or did you take that with you?
I never brought it here.
No, I mean, like, were we gonna plan on that because of the Blavatsky minute?
Eventually.
Yeah, it's gonna be eventually. Yeah.
in the when we cover the Vedas.
Fair.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I thought she had a commentary.
She has a commentary on the New Testament, but it's
Ooh.
gonna be a while.
That is
Yeah,
still a
it's gonna be
year, yeah.
quite a bit.
Hello, Ellis from Tel Aviv.
Yes.
Wow.
it's in Tel Aviv.
Hey, I remember Tel Aviv. That's a hell of a city, man. Some good shopping down there. Like everything, you can just like
What
Did
we
you,
like to
mosey
do,
on
yeah.
over. You know, they have like street signs that say McDonald's 30 kilometers this direction. You know, not quite 30 kilometers, but like 150 meters in this direction.
150 meters.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts.
Ridiculous backwards
Yeah.
metric system.
Ellis, I hope you enjoy haggling over everything. It is quite fun.
You can get a good deal.
Yep. Any more announcements we got?
Yeah, the Council of Constantinople video.
I know you've been reading a lot about it.
Yes, I really, really have. And last night I had a lot of time, just hours, to work on it, and I got a lot of stuff done. I got a lot of reading done. Took a lot of notes. It was nice. It was nice not having anyone around to distract me. So
Well,
that's
your
good.
parents are gone.
Excellent.
I guess, so, yeah.
Yeah, they were last night. So yeah, I had all the time in the world.
Excellent.
It was fantastic. But I think those are all the announcements.
Except for our donation drive. Once we hit 666, we are going to be trying to transmute material using alchemy.
Good old alchemy.
And it probably won't work. But if it does,
then we're great.
We're never
awesome.
going to release the video. We're just going to sit
do it.
around making gold and like get rich, basically.
That's the plan.
Yep.
All right. We can hop right into the
what are we at on our donation drive? By the way?
We haven't really moved that much, but we're about 490, I think.
490. Excellent.
470. Sorry.
Okay.
Good. Not quite excellent, but good.
Yeah. So, what are you reading from today?
I'm reading the best version of the Bible,
Okay.
the King James Version, which, as we know, has unicorns in it.
Yeah. I am reading from the English Standard Version.
We also have the Robert Alter translation with commentary of the Hebrew Bible in 3 volumes.
Yeah. We have the Holy Scriptures, according to some Jews.
We have the New King James Version, second best version.
We also have the Old Testament Survey from the New Interpreter's Bible.
And we have the Oxford Companion to the Bible just sitting there underneath a stack of other books.
Just sitting there. And you know what?
Brett.
Because it's under so many books, it's not gathering dust, so that's a plus.
Good.
Hey, great.
Yeah.
We still have to look through the Enoch stuff in there.
Yeah. We also have Erdman's commentary on the Bible. We have Psalms, Old and New. And we're going to be using this one today as well, actually.
Are we going to be using Sarnas on the Book of Psalms?
No. We are not.
Okay.
And we are also not going to be using the origins of biblical monotheism.
I assume we're also not going to be using the Dead Sea Scrolls
all of our
new translation.
all of our Enoch stuff is the Enoch stuff.
Yeah. We need a bookshelf.
We've got them, but
Yeah.
they're filled with books.
Yeah.
And we need
No,
them
wait,
in another
what?
place.
Are you telling me that you are in possession of a bookshelf that is filled with books?
Well,
Ooh.
let's put it this way.
Well, you know, a bowl is most useful when it is empty.
Yes, empty your cup.
There's one in every single room that like is a living space, and most of them are mounted to the wall. We're not moving them.
There
They're
used to be some bookshelves down here before we took them all out on the walls.
In the back room.
No, right behind where you are now, there were all those shelves, remember?
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah.
That was a long time ago.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah, but
And
those would be useful, wouldn't they?
No, because they collapsed, and that's why they're gone.
Yeah.
See,
Good
they
point.
couldn't support the weight of X, whatever X was, and it broke.
Oof. Well, anyways, why don't we get right into it?
Yeah,
Open up your version
let's
of
hop
Robert
into the
Alters, and we can read these wonderful ancient Hebrew Aramaic poems.
Yes.
Psalm 33. Rejoice in the Lord, O ye righteous, for praise is comely for the upright. You know, this is a little synchronicity with the Enoch stuff we're going over, where they're constantly talking about the righteous.
Yes, and the upright. And one of the interesting things is that this verse is very, very similar to the one preceding it. So the last verse of 32 is, be glad in the Lord and rejoice, O righteous, and shout for joy, all you upright in heart.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, very, very similar there.
You know, they must have planned that out while they were going over this.
I mean, well, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Rejoice in the Lord, O ye righteous, for praise is comely for the upright. Praise the Lord with a harp. Sing unto him with the psaltery and an instrument of 10 strings. 10-stringed instrument. You know, that's probably, there were lyres popular at the time.
The guy in the background's got a harp.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's a real harp. I'm talking about like a
Also,
hands-
my translation says a harp of 10 strings.
Yes.
So I'm guessing that it's a harp.
Yeah, the 10 string.
Well, I don't know because altar says just with the 10-stringed lute hymn.
Well,
Right, and it is a lute. Well, a lyre is different from a lute, right? I've never seen a 10-stringed lute. Because a lute is like, a mandolin type instrument.
Okay.
and usually they have redundant strings, right? Where there's
Sometimes they
pairs.
have redundant strings. But I have seen 10-stringed lyres, and it's actually a very good formation because it allows you the full access to an octave as well as the flatted third if you want to do songs in a minor key. Anyways, sing unto him a new song. Play skillfully with a loud noise. Kind of contrary to the whole traditionalism thing, Oof. For the words of the Lord, the word of the Lord is right, and all his works are done in truth. He loveth righteousness and judgment. The earth is full of the goodness of the Lord. By the word of the Lord were the heavens made, and all the host of them by the breath of his mouth. Does that run contrary to the chosen one theology that was set up in Enoch, which, it said that he was present when the Lord created?
Right,
everything.
but the Lord is still the instrument of creation, and his
Yes.
word is the instrument. Because later that would be interpreted to mean that because there's God the Father, then there's the Logos, that's the Word, and that's that was supposed to be Jesus incarnate.
Yes.
So
Which
you
is why
you can
his-
make this fit.
You can make it fit.
Is it cherry picking or is it just by quantity?
I
we
don't know.
managed
It's
to get it in there?
some kind of sophistry.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
fair enough.
He gathereth the waters of the sea together as a heap. How many waters does it take to make a heap?
To make a
Oh,
heap.
no.
I
Let's
don't know.
do a Sorites sequence on this. Woo. He layeth up the depth in storehouses. Is that a reference to the windows of heaven?
Yes.
Yeah, that
This
sounds-
entire thing is a reference to the creation narrative.
Okay.
Yeah, so these are the places where they keep the water that come out of the gates.
And the stars.
And the
stuff.
stars.
Yes.
Yeah, those is the cool.
Okay. Okay. Let all the earth fear the Lord. Let all the inhabitants of the world stand in awe of him. For he spake, and it was done. He commanded, and it stood fast. The Lord bringeth the counsel of the heathen to naught. He maketh the devices of the people of none effect. That's not really what we saw earlier on in the Bible when those heathens ran the Jews out of Jerusalem.
Yeah, that was a thing that happened. They don't like to talk about that.
Yeah. The counsel of the Lord standeth forever, the thoughts of his heart to all generations. Blessed is the nation whose God is the Lord, and the people whom he hath chosen for his own inheritance. That's a very strange wording.
Yeah, this entire thing's kind of strange. So here's from Alter. So the Lord thwarted the counsel of nations, overturned the devisings of the people. The Lord's counsel will stand forever, his heart's devisings for all generations. Happy the nation whose God is the Lord, the people he chose as a state for him. From the heavens the Lord looked down, saw all the human creatures.
Yeah, I'm not there yet.
Okay.
Okay. But the term inheritance was left out of the altar there, right?
Right. Choosing a state for him. I think
Yeah.
that would be it, yeah.
Which it's strange that they would use the term inheritance because usually it pertains to people who die.
Yeah.
The Lord looketh from heaven, he beholdeth
Behold!
All right, it's been a while.
all the sons of men. From the place of his habitation, he looketh upon all the inhabitants of the earth. Obviously, the sons of men remark there is not a reference to the figure, the son of man.
No, it is not.
Which is getting confusing now. How many
Yeah,
of these guys
yeah.
there are?
Yeah. He fashioneth their hearts alike. He considereth all their works. There is no king saved by the multitude of a host. A mighty man is not delivered by much strength.
So let's talk about these verses a little bit because it kind of sounds very deterministic.
You're right. He fashions their hearts.
And he understands all their doings.
Right.
That
So
sounds omnipotent there.
yeah, and it can easily be interpreted that way. So in verse 15, this is the idiomatic force of Yahad, which is I'm pretty sure means like rule or law.
Yes.
Which elsewhere and invariably in post biblical Hebrew means together. Or maybe that was the community. Maybe it didn't mean community.
Yes.
I'm probably thinking of something else.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I know that was a term used for the Qumran sect, the Yahad. So, and then for the next verse, the importance of any material power a human being can command stands in vivid contrast to God's overwhelming power expressed in the preceding lines over all the earth.
Yes.
It is noteworthy, moreover, that God is seen in this poem creating the world not through sheer force, but through speech, not with a big bang, but in a series of carefully measured words.
That's a nice pun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I also think it's noteworthy that they point out the kings here because as we've been reading in First Enoch, there is like a major, I don't know, societal rebellion against kingship.
Yeah.
Right. And as we know, it was Samuel, I think, who warned that the creation of a monarchy was a bad idea.
That was a problem. Yeah, it was going to be a problem.
A horse is a vain thing for safety. Neither shall he deliver any by his great strength. So, like, I assume the horse is the most quick vehicle.
The horse is a lie for rescue. And in his...
The horse is a lie?
The horse is a lie.
Okay.
Amazing.
The horse is a lie for rescue.
You know, that's a meme in itself, like the cake is a lie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
That's a good idea for a shirt. Write
The
that down.
horse
The
is a
horse
lie.
Is a lie.
Man,
Yeah.
that's amazing.
Well, I mean, what they mean probably is that the horse is the fastest vehicle that was available to the people at the time. And even then, you can't outrun God's judgment.
Right. Good thing we have cars now.
Yes. Now we can outrun them.
Yeah. Now
40
we're all right.
horsepower. That's
Truth.
what it took.
Truth.
Behold,
Behold.
the eye of the Lord is upon them that fear him, upon them that hope in his mercy, to deliver their soul from death and to keep them alive in famine. Is soul here ruach? Does Alter remark on that?
He says nothing about it.
Okay, I'm assuming soul is ruach. Our soul waiteth for the Lord. He is our help and our shield.
But actually, there's something else here. So to save their lives from death and in famine, to keep them alive, we urgently wait for the Lord. Our help and our shield is He. So on that note, we urgently wait. Yours says soul, right?
Our soul waiteth for the Lord.
Right. The adverb urgently is added to suggest the force of emphasis achieved in the Hebrew throughout the use of nafshinu, our life breath, or our very selves, as an intensive form of the first person plural pronoun.
Nafshinu.
Boy, that
as
sounds
opposed to ruach. And
like a Hindi god almost.
well, then both of those terms refer to the same thing because ruach means breath and soul. Okay. For our heart shall rejoice in him because we have trusted in his holy name. Let thy mercy, O Lord, be upon us according as we hope in thee. Okay. Well, I mean, that's like kind of a bookend to this last section that's set up in verse 18, where it says, the eye of the Lord is upon them that fear him, upon them that hope in his mercy. So the continual reference to hoping in the mercy of the Lord or hoping in the Lord, kind of a bookend. Not quite as in other Psalms where it's like a direct bookend.
Right.
All right. Well, let's...
Yes, that is the end of that psalm. Make sure you guys drop a like and drop a dislike if you don't like it.
Yeah.
And really just any reaction's great. Subscribe, share the stream, all that good stuff.
Share it with your friends, family, neighbors, countrymen. Tell them to lend you their ears.
So I'm going to read this first, this introduction part to, I need this for a second.
Okay.
Unless you want to read that part, the commentary on it.
Sure, why not?
Okay, so I'm going to read this first section, and then I have the entire thing kind of blocked off
right
there.
Here. Okay.
Of David, when he changed his behavior before Abimelech, so that he drove him out, and he went away.
Yeah, Alter says, for David, when he altered his good sense before Abimelech, who banished him and he went away. Well, the commentary that you have set up here that you outlined says, let me adjust this a little bit.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm sure Alter has some stuff on it too.
Yes, and I will be reading that too.
Okay.
The superscript links the psalm to David when he feigned madness before Abimelech, so that he drove him out and he went away. This is probably a reference to the incident described in 1 Samuel 21, 10 through 15, if you want to pull that up. 1 Samuel 21, 10 through 15.
Here I am. That was pretty fast, actually. David flees to Gath, and David rose and fled that day from Saul and went to Achish, the king of Gath. And the servants of Achish said to him, is not this David, the king of the land? Did they not sing to one another of him in dances? Saul has struck down his thousands and David his tens of thousands.
Ah, there it is.
Yeah. And David took these words to heart and was much afraid of Achish, the king of Gath. So he changed his behavior before him, and he pretended to be insane in their hands, and made marks on the doors of the gates, and let his spittle run down his beard. Then Achish said to his servants, Behold!
Different behold.
Yeah, different behold. You see the man is mad. Why then have you brought him to me? Do I lack madmen that you have brought this fellow to behave as a madman in my presence? Shall this fellow come into my house? Yeah. So that's
from...
And they say this is where David feigned madness before Achish, not Abimelech, as in Psalm 34, the Philistine king. The difference between 1 Samuel 21 and Psalm 34 can be due to a scribal error, or it can be that Abimelech is a general name for Philistine kings, just as Pharaoh is for Egyptian kings.
And that actually makes more sense than his naming right now, because of the...
It does, but
few times that a Abimelech has been brought up, pretty much seem like a title to me.
Yeah, it would make much more sense as a title.
Possible. It is probable that this title was also a later addition and ascribed to David, especially since there is no explicit resemblance between the psalm itself and the incident in 1 Samuel 21. A later editor probably tried to associate the several miraculous escapes of David described in 1 Samuel 21 through 23. I don't expect you to read all those chapters. With Psalm 34, in which the Lord is praised as the good one, who answers and rescues the humble and brokenhearted.
Just to be fair, we already did read all those chapters.
Yes, if you want to see them,
you can go back.
They're in the David.
Not right now, later.
Not right now.
Do it later.
Do it later.
This is live.
Yeah.
This is more important.
Now, Alter says about this, the superscription refers directly to 1 Samuel 21:14, where David, surrounded by before the city of Gath by the Philistine king and his men, saves himself by playing the madmen. The same unusual idiom for feigning madness, altered his good sense, shanot et tamo, is used in Samuel. But the Philistine king there is not Abimelech, who appears in Genesis 20, but Achish. This may be a confusion on the part of the editor, though Rashi and other medieval commentators try to save the text by arguing that Abimelech was a hereditary royal title, not a proper name. Why did the editor detect a link between our psalm and this incident in the David story? In all likelihood, the connection he saw was the psalm's emphasis on God's rescuing power. Even when the just man is threatened with imminent death by his enemies, particularly pertinent here are the lines near the end of the poem, which we'll go into, and perhaps the image in 1 Samuel 21 of the future king of Israel scrabbling on the doors and drooling over his beard may have been called to the editor's mind by, quote, near is the Lord of the brokenhearted and the crushed spirit he rescues, end quote. Now, before we move further into the poem itself, there's a bit about the structure of it here in Eerdmans, and I want to read it out.
Sure.
Psalm 34 is an acrostic or alphabetical poem in that its verses begin with the successive letters of the Hebrew alphabet. The psalm lacks a verse beginning with the sixth Hebrew letter, waw, or vav, and has an additional verse at the end of the psalm that begins with the letter pe. In this respect, Psalm 34 is similar to Psalm 25. Psalm 34 is also connected to the preceding psalm and the following psalm with word and phrase repetitions.
Yeah, so we can probably gather that the same person wrote 32 through 35, at least for the most part.
Because they're so similar.
They're connected, like, intrinsically, but I don't know if that's a later addition or not. Anyways.
Hop into it.
Yeah. I will bless the Lord at all times. His praise shall continually be in my mouth. My soul makes its boast in the Lord. Let the humble hear and be glad.
So Alter says, in the Lord do I glory. Let the lowly hear and rejoice. And he says here, although this is the proper sense of the verb hithalel, it also plays etymologically with the noun for praise, tehillah, which appears in the previous line.
Oh, magnify the Lord before me. Oh, sorry, I messed that one up. Oh, no. Magnify the Lord with me, and let us exalt his name together. I sought the Lord, and he answered me, and delivered me from all my fears. Those who look to him are radiant, and their faces shall never be ashamed. This poor man cried, and the Lord heard him and saved him out of all his troubles.
So when they say they look to them and they're radiant, is that a reference to Moses?
I don't think so, because the other translation...
here it says... they looked to him and they beamed, and their faces were no longer dark.
Huh. That's very interesting, because in the Septuagint, come to him and be enlightened, and your faces shall never be put to shame.
Ooh,
yeah.
Very different.
Yeah. So I'm not sure. The angel of the Lord encamps around those who fear him and delivers them. Oh, taste and see that the Lord is good. Obviously, that just means experience that the Lord is good. You're not gonna taste God. Blessed is the man who takes refuge in him. Oh, fear the Lord, you his saints, for those who fear him have no lack.
Now, hold up here. There are a few things that I want to read off. First of all, when it says in verse 8 about the Lord's messenger, Alter has to say, the idea that God sends a divine emissary to accompany man, guide him, protect him, and in some instances scrutinize his actions is common in biblical literature, with instances occurring as early as Genesis and Exodus. When Abraham dispatches his servant to Mesopotamia to find a bride for Isaac, the servant is persuaded that the Lord's messenger has come along with him to show him the right way. In verse 9, it says, taste and see that the Lord is good, and his commentary is essentially the same as what you said. But Eerdmans divides the entire psalm here. Eerdman says the psalm can be divided into two strophes, namely 34, 1 through 10, and 11 through 22. 1 through 10 consists mainly of elements of an individual thanksgiving, while 11 through 22 can be classified as wisdom literature. The first strophe, 1 through 10, comprises the following sections. 1 through 3 are self-exhortation to thank and praise the Lord. They conclude by inviting the congregation to join in thanksgiving and praise. The emphasis is placed entirely on praise and thanksgiving by the use of the words such as bless, praise, boast in the Lord, be glad, magnify the Lord, and exalt his name. The entire life of the petitioner is supposed to be one of thanksgiving, and the whole community must also share in it. The glory of the Lord is accentuated by the fact that it is the humble ones, the low ones, that should exalt and magnify the Lord. The theme of the humble and poor ones fills a central role in the psalm. 4 through 10 is a testimony from the petitioner's personal experience, giving the reasons for praise. And he says verse 4 is a summary of the section where he says, I sought the Lord and he answered me. And he points out several verbs such as answered, delivered, heard, and saved. And on the messenger,
I also have some stuff on the messenger when you're done with that.
Yes. Well, he essentially just says the same thing as Alter says. So,
all right. Well, this is from Ben Witherington. Verses 7 through 12 seem to go together as a unit, and the changes are rung early on the theme of revering Yahweh. Verse 7 likely refers to a frequently mentioned character in the Old Testament, the angel of the Lord, Malach Yahweh. Here we are told that this emissary of God surrounds and protects those who fear God. The thing about this emissary is that he is mysterious. Is this just another way of talking about God and his immanence? Is this a separate being? Verses 8 through 9 seem to be parallel lines, and in verse 9 we are told that it is Yahweh in whom the faithful person shelters. So it's just a very interesting relationship there.
yes. Well, why don't you carry on with the second half of this psalm?
I shall, thank you.
Yes, because it's wisdom literature.
Yeah.
And you know all about that.
Oh, totally. The young lions suffer want and hunger, but those who seek the Lord lack no good thing.
Okay, so
lions,
Alter,
yeah, there's a lot to say about the lions.
Alter says there's a certain smoothness, indeed a kind of patness, in the formulation of this line, and in fact, in most of the lines of this poem, the language is more formulaic than elsewhere, and the moral calculus involved is itself a kind of pious formula. All this gives the psalm a measured, choreographed dignity. It is not surprising that this text has been incorporated into the Sabbath morning liturgy, but the expression of God's unwavering protection of the just and his punishment of the wicked is precisely the view against which the Job poet will rebel so vehemently.
Yeah. One of the things here on the lion, in the Septuagint, it's translated as the rich instead of the lion.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, let's continue then.
The lions.
Lions, sorry. Come, O children, listen to me. I will teach you the fear of the Lord.
So this is where the wisdom literature part really starts up.
Yeah. What man is there who desires life and loves many days that he may see good? Keep your tongue from evil and your lips from speaking deceit. Turn away from evil and do good. Seek peace and pursue it. The eyes of the Lord are toward the righteous, and his ears toward their cry. The face of the Lord is against those who do evil, to cut off the memory of them from the earth.
So, what verse are you on here? The Altars is pretty different.
Right. In mine, I just finished 16.
Okay, keep going.
Okay. When the righteous cry for help, the Lord hears and delivers them out of all their troubles. The Lord is near to the brokenhearted and saves the crushed in spirit.
So Alter points out here, If one is inclined to agree with Job that this psalm puts forth a view of the implementation of divine justice that disintegrates in the harsh crucible of experience, the poet nevertheless succeeds at moments like this in articulating a moving vision of hope for the desperate. Part of the spiritual greatness of Psalms, part of the source of its enduring appeal throughout the ages, is that it profoundly recognizes the bleakness, the dark terrors, the long nights of despair that shadow most lives, and against all this evokes the notion of a caring presence that can reach out to the brokenhearted. That's some major apologetics there.
Yes,
right?
yes, it is.
Congratulations.
But yeah, those last few verses, those are pretty much just a lot of ways to say the exact same thing.
Yeah, it's very dissimilar from Job, I think.
Yeah, I think so too.
So the altar's on point there.
Many are the afflictions of the righteous, but the Lord delivers him out of them all. He keeps all his bones, not one of them is broken. Affliction will slay the wicked, and those who hate the righteous will be condemned. The Lord redeems the life of his servants. None of those who take refuge in him will be condemned. Obviously, they're not saying that you're not going to have a hard time, but just as in Job, in the end, they're going to get their comeuppance.
Yeah, Eerdmans points out about these last bits here that they have a didactic function. By contrasting the righteous and evildoers and by describing the fate of the righteous in a very positive way, the poet aims to persuade the reader to make the right choice, namely to fear the Lord, to acknowledge him as God, and to praise him constantly for his deliverance.
Just like those angels do.
Constantly.
Yes. And that's the end of that psalm, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Well, why don't you take these and I will get us right into the next one. Hey, you watching this stream right now, if you're enjoying the stream, share it with your friends, family, neighbors, ex-wives, estranged children, and so on.
The people that read the Psalms in your church.
Yeah, the people that read the Psalms in the church that
go
you
on
go
to
to.
Reddit.
Yeah, the church that you go to.
4chan, Tell them we're live.
Yeah.
Tell them to give us a hard time even. We don't care. It'd be funny.
If you could, print out flyers for Milwaukee
Yeah,
Atheists
just
and
hand
just
them
like
out.
You know what?
throw
Just
'em
print out
all
this
over
video.
churches.
Yeah, print the
print
video.
out the video.
As a GIF, an animated GIF, and be surprised when it doesn't move.
Yeah, do that.
So let me get into this one. This is one of the longer ones. Actually, I'm getting stuck with two long ones this time.
Are
Aren't
you?
you a lucky man?
Let's do it to it. A Psalm of David. Plead my cause, O Lord, with them that strive with me. Fight against them that fight against me. Take hold of shield and buckler, and stand up for mine help. Draw out also the spear, and stop the way against them that persecute me. Say unto my soul, I am thy salvation. Let them be confounded and put to shame that seek after my soul. Let them be turned back and brought to confusion that devise my hurt. So this is like a general protection prayer.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what it looks like.
Yeah. Let them be as chaff before the wind, and let the angel of the Lord chase them. Let their way be dark and slippery, and let the angel of the Lord persecute them.
Yeah, so there's quite a bit to talk about there.
Yeah.
So especially with the messenger driving them out, this is a neat instance of how the second verset is used in biblical poetry to intensify and specify an idea put forth in the first verset. Wind blowing chaff, of course, scatters it, as in Psalm 1. But this wind is driven by an agent of divine judgment. Similarly, in the next line, it is risky to make one's way in the dark on a slippery road. But
Yeah.
how much more so when the nocturnal pedestrian is on the run, pursued by God's messenger.
Yeah. And I mean,
God's gonna cut him down.
You can have
That
Yeah.
just sounds like an edgy short story right there.
It does,
generally you can have kind of, a metaphor like people are on shaky grounds or slippery
Sure,
grounds,
sure.
right? Anyways.
Slippery slope.
Yep, slippery slope. For without cause they have hid for me their net in a pit, which without cause they have digged for my soul. Let destruction come upon him at unawareness, and let his net that he hath hid catch himself. Into that very destruction let him fall.
Yeah, so you reap what you sow.
Yes. And my soul shall be joyful in the Lord. It shall rejoice in his salvation. All my bones shall say, Lord, who is like unto thee, which deliverest the poor from him that is too strong for him. Yea, the poor and the needy from him that spoileth him.
Saving the poor from one stronger than he, and the needy from his despoiler.
There is
What's
a
a
question
despoiler?
mark. So there's a question mark
Yeah,
in verse 10
I don't
in
have
the
a
King
question.
James version.
Alter doesn't have a
know what
question mark.
Spoiler is?
No?
Someone who does the opposite of
someone-
spoiling.
A despoiler?
Yeah, someone who takes stuff away.
I mean, that's the word you used, right? Despoiler?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's new to me. Maybe I'll look into it.
Okay. False
Oh
witnesses.
yeah, mine also has a question mark.
Oh,
In
Wow.
the English Standard Version.
interesting. False witnesses did rise up. They laid to my charge things that I knew not. They rewarded me evil for good to the spoiling of my soul. Kind of like the Jesus story, right? If you take the apologetic view, then you're saying that like Jesus is being punished for doing good things, right?
Well, no. Because the entire idea was that, well, I mean, I guess in a way, but not like other people didn't, like the Romans didn't see it as good. But it's directly a salvific kind of thing in Jesus' case.
Yeah, but I don't think those that are rewarding the author of this psalm evil for the good that they apparently do see what they do as good either.
Sure.
So despoiler is someone who would deprive something valuable of somebody else by force or rob.
Yeah.
And the other definition
Pretty much what we said.
they had, which seems to fit just as well.
Talk closer to the mic, Chris. We can barely hear you.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Somebody who ruins things by force that was valuable. So
yeah. So the
either-
opposite of spoiling somebody.
Yeah. It's either destruction or stealing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
The
mean,
opposite of spoiling somebody.
I
Yes.
figured, but it's weird that they have a term for just a guy who does that instead of like a thief or a criminal. Or,
Well, I mean,
I know that
the
these-
English Standard Version says rob. So
robbed. Okay.
Ah.
All right. Fair enough.
But as for me, when they were sick, my clothing was sackcloth. I humbled my soul with fasting, and my prayer returned into mine own bosom. I have behaved myself as though he had been my friend or brother. I bowed down heavily as one that mourneth for his mother. But in mine adversity they rejoiced and gathered themselves together. Yea, the abjects gathered themselves together against me, and I knew it not. They did tear me and ceased not. With hypocritical mockers and feasts they gnashed upon me with their teeth. Lord, how long wilt thou look on? Rescue my soul from their destructions, my darling from the lions. Another reference to the lions.
yes.
I think it's a pretty common theme in the Psalms for whoever is writing the Psalms to complain openly that God has not been there for them in the past.
Yeah, but that the whole point is that shouldn't be a problem. Just keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, I guess. I will give thee thanks in the great congregation. I will praise thee among much people. Let them that are mine enemies wrongfully rejoice over me. Neither let them wink with the eye that hate me without a cause. For they speak not peace, But they devise deceitful matters against them that are quiet in the land. Yea, they opened their mouth wide against me and said, Aha, aha, our eye hath seen it. This thou hast seen, O Lord.
I liked Alter's translation. Hurrah, hurrah.
Yeah. You know, this kind of reminds me of the situation that Socrates was in the Apology, right? He had false accusers who were coming against him, and they claimed to have personal knowledge of him doing all sorts of evil things.
Okay.
You know, and it didn't work out too well for Socrates.
That's true. It didn't.
I guess that he should have sacrificed less roosters to Asclepius and should have been worshiping Yahweh.
He should have
instead.
been, because then it would have been all right.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was the style at the time.
Guess not.
It wasn't.
This thou hast seen, O Lord. Keep not silence. O Lord, be not far from me. You know, like I said, a lot of these are like begging a God that is not present to be present. And it's not like we have follow-up psalms.
Well, it does
Psalms.
it does say that he will hear, the cries of the needy and the poor and, his righteous or whatever. So presumably if this person is righteous and saying this, then he should be able to hear it.
But does he even need to cry out about it, because he says outright, this thou hast seen, O Lord? And if God is just, then he would already be punishing those who wrongfully do things to others?
Yeah, but, divine command theory.
That's divine command theory. That's the new one.
Yeah.
It seemed like in the last...
That's not new at all, Chris.
No, it's pretty old.
Your phrasing of it.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Doing the Charleston's really new school.
Yeah. Look at all these kids doing the Charleston.
Yeah. With the ragtime music. Stir up thyself and awake to my judgment, even unto my cause, my God and my Lord. So this seems to imply that you need to make a request for God to care about something. Because if God has already seen it,
right,
and, he doesn't care about it, then is it even bad in the theology? Right? I mean...
Well, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure Job would have a few things to say about that.
Maybe.
No.
Judge me, O Lord my God, according to thy righteousness, and let them not rejoice over me. The term, O Lord my God, pops up a few times in these Psalms that we've been reading.
Yeah.
What is the actual... Do you know the actual terminology?
That's used for these ones specifically? No.
Yeah. I assume that it's like a combination. It's not just like a Yahweh, or it's not just an Adonai or something. It's
I really have no idea.
Well, let them not say in their hearts, ah, so would we have it. Let them not say, we have swallowed him up. Let them be ashamed and brought to confusion together that rejoice at mine hurt. Let them be clothed with shame and dishonor that magnify themselves against me. Let them shout for joy and be glad that favor my righteous cause. Yea, let them say continually, let the Lord be magnified, which hath pleasure in the prosperity of his servant. And my tongue shall speak of thy righteousness and of thy praise all the day long.
So I like Altars has, and my tongue will murmur your justice.
Josh.
Yeah, thus at the very end, the speaker praising God's justice places himself in a community of the upright who celebrate the presence of the divine order in the lives of humankind.
Yeah, I think it's similar to the covenant kind of theology that we had run into previously, where like a lot of these individual psalms seem to be like requests for individual covenants.
Yeah, they definitely seem kind of like that. All right, do you hear something?
Yeah, I got this strange strange
It's a really clear
sounds.
buzzing noise because of these great headphones
Oh,
and great
yeah.
audio equipment. But I hear it.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Behold, I am your Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, and I want to let all you heathens and sinners know that I support this wonderful episode of Atheist Sunday School. Lawrence and Reuben try their very best to bring you the true glory of the Bible, and they need your help. They have provided links to their Patreon page and other social media just for you. Once again, my name is Jesus Christ, and this is Milwaukee Atheists. The Lord is with them. God bless.
Wow. Thanks, Jesus. You seem to have taken away Reuben. That's a problem, but I guess I can continue the show on my own. Reuben's gone. Jesus took him away. He has been ascended. He is like Elijah and Enoch and all those other dudes. So I guess I will sadly continue the show without Reuben. I guess farewell, comrade. Oh my God.
Thus have I returned, and I hath seen things, magical things. I saw the fires of the west, and I saw a dragon, and the end of the world. Ooh.
Seven
You're
mountains.
dead.
Yep, I'm dead.
Okay, let's continue. Here's a...
Yeah, give me the real book.
So let's hop right into Psalm 36. To the choir master of David, the servant of the Lord.
So, like the titles of many other psalms, this one could be a later edition, and it is not clear precisely why David is referred to in this psalm as the servant of the Lord, which apparently he is. So,
Transgression speaks to the wicked deep in his heart. There is no fear of God before his eyes, for he flatters himself in his own eyes that his iniquity cannot be found out and hated.
okay, so a few things here in the altar commentary. First, he says, crimes utterance to the wicked at the beginning there. And he says about it, the beginning of this psalm adopts an anomalous rhetorical device. Crime, as a personified figure, is presented speaking its pernicious speech within the heart of the wicked person. The Masoretic text reads, my heart, which has made interpreters strain to imagine a quasi-prophetic speaker who claims to know what crime says inwardly to the wicked. More plausibly, a couple of ancient versions read, his heart. In any case, this odd beginning also makes the genre of the psalm difficult to identify. It's not a supplication, but it puts into play the supplication's characteristic contrast between the upright and the evil, and also its confidence in God's overarching justice.
That was a great head turn.
Oh, was that not on camera?
That was definitely on camera.
Well, whatever.
Yes, and for it caressed him with its eyes. He says, this line continues the personification of crime, suggesting its seductive power, though the verb here could be construed differently than this translation does. Perhaps eyes is deliberately repeated to play against the eyes of the wicked mentioned in the previous verse, where they say, there is no fear of God before my eyes.
Right. The words of his mouth are trouble and deceit. He has ceased to act wisely and do good. He plots trouble while on his bed. He sets himself in a way that is not good. He does not reject evil. So he's they're kind of picturing this guy as like some evil mastermind, and he's
Yeah.
just plotting away.
Alter says the wicked man is the antithetical parallel of the good Israelite enjoined in Deuteronomy to speak God's words when he lies down and when he gets up and when he goes on his way.
Well, you look skeptical there.
Yeah, I feel like you don't even if you're writing this, you don't even necessarily need to have that in mind.
Right. Like there's bad people.
Yeah.
you think
Your
that-
steadfast love, O Lord, extends to the heavens, your faithfulness to the clouds. Your righteousness is like the mountains of God. Your judgments are like the great deep. Man and beast you save, O Lord.
So on the mountains of God,
Yeah, I'm sure they presume them to go up into the sky and
right?
into the realm of
now,
deities.
we did read about those mountains.
Oh, wait, hold on
in
just a second.
First Enoch,
Continue.
but Alter says the unending mountains, and he says the Hebrew Hare El might also be construed as mountains of God, but most interpreters include that El here is a suffix of intensification, yielding something like the mighty mountains or the unending mountains, and thus constituting a cosmic complement to the great abyss at the end of the parallel verset.
And this doesn't include those 7 mountains with the one in the middle.
No, this isn't about those 7 mountains. I
Okay.
just figured because, when we were talking quite a while ago about, where the gods lived,
Yeah.
and, they had their mountains, like Olympus, for example, the most popular example. So just like that, this could be a reference to that. And actually, if you... I can't find it fast enough, but if you want to take a look through this page 171 in Mark S. Smith about this specific verse, I think it's somewhere in Psalm 36, something about there. But I'm just gonna keep reading.
All right, tell me when you get to verse 10, by the way.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, Psalm 36. It talks about Psalm 36:9.
Oh, Psalm 36:9. Okay, then.
Okay.
I remember. Then we don't need it.
Okay.
I remember seeing. I remember seeing it when I was looking through the index, and I was like, I don't think we'll need this one verse for the commentary. But then I
Yeah.
saw this, and I was like, oh, maybe we will now. Anyways, how precious is your steadfast love, O God! The children of mankind take refuge in the shadow of your wings. They feast on the abundance of your house, and you give them drink from the river of your delights. For with you is the fountain of life. In your light do we see light. Yeah, that was a sentence.
Okay, that's the end of
Verse 9.
Verse 9. Okay, so for here, he says, the fair at your house, the stream of delights, for verse 9 here, but 8, really. He says, God's unwavering regimen of justice for humankind is experienced in the language of the poem as concrete sensual pleasure. The drinking imagery continues with the fountain of life in the next line. The Hebrew for delights is Adonim, and so it may allude to the streams of Eden. Also, the poem's broken up into strophes. So there's verse 1 through 4, verse 5 through 9, and verse 10 through 11. 1 through 4 is a description of the wicked. The 5 through 9 is a hymn towards the Lord. And the third strophe is a prayer which concerns the 3 parties in the psalm, namely the Lord, the petitioner, and the evildoers. So, why don't you continue on through the end here?
Oh, continue your steadfast love to those who know you, and your righteousness to the upright of heart. Let not the foot of arrogance come upon me, nor the hand of the wicked drive me away. There the evildoers lie fallen. They are thrust down, unable to rise.
So for that last verse there, he said, there did the doers of mischief fail, evildoers. Alter says, initially the use of the deictic there is puzzling, but it has an emotional rightness. The poem that began with an intimate recording of the wicked man's malicious speech ends with a confounding of the wicked. But this defeat of the wicked happens at a distance, in the past, in a place from which the speaker is happily removed. And Eerdmans states, the first and last verses are the key to understanding the psalm. The beginning and end of the psalm form a striking contrast. The psalm commences by describing the arrogance of the wicked and ends, there the evildoers lie prostrate there, unable to rise. The function of the contrast is to indicate that evildoers are struck down, never to rise again. while the steadfast love of the Lord lasts forever. This expression occurs no fewer than 3 times in the psalm, verses 5, 7, and 10. And, that's...
That's the end of Psalm 36.
Yes, it is.
And then we have one more psalm today, but it is quite long.
Yes, it's 40 verses.
Yeah, ouch.
Yes.
I do not envy you right now.
Hey, Ruben, you got all the long readings today.
Apparently. Hey, if you're enjoying the stream right now, give us a like, comment on our stuff, buy our wacky and fun t-shirts, share it around.
Yeah, what
Tell
he said.
Mr. Beast
so
to
on
come
and so on.
visit.
Tell
Yeah,
Mr. Beast
tell
to come
Mr.
visit.
Beast to get his ass
we
over
need help.
Yeah, we
Help
would
us.
like $1 million. Man, we would go forward through so many donation goals. 666.
Yeah,
if
we would
we
have
got
to. We would have
Joey's.
to do
We're gonna have
so
to
much
do-
crazy occult stuff.
We're gonna have to do the
Yeah.
alchemy drive, and then we're gonna have to do the real gold making drive, which is where we get
Ugh.
the particle accelerator. Oh, we got to do it all.
Yeah. No, even then, I don't think we'd be able to put together a
particle
accelerator powerful enough to turn things
I don't
into
think
gold.
so.
You know, it's going to be in such a minuscule amount that you run it for 3 years and maybe you'll see a dust flake or so. That's
Yeah.
the kind of particle accelerator you could get. And not to mention, you'd have to go through 20 loopholes to get the legality out of the way.
It'd be a really long video.
Oof, it'd be like a 3-hour video, the process of setting up a particle accelerator. And yes, we fast forwarded, but we put it on 4 times speed, but still, it took us years.
Yeah, and it's probably not a good idea to make a video showing step by step how to put together a particle
that's true.
accelerator.
What
That's
if
true.
people need to learn how to
Make a particle
Well,
accelerator.
yeah, exactly. It's for sterilizing purposes, like in the
Hey.
hospital.
Yeah, it'll sterilize everything.
Everything.
All right, let's get through this super long psalm. Fret not. Oh, it's Psalm of David. Fret not thyself because of evildoers, neither be thou envious against the workers of iniquity. Wow, that's like
Pretty much the stuff we're already reading about.
stuff we're already reading about. But
Yeah.
obviously, these previous guys have been fretting about evildoers.
Yeah, and this guy's gonna do it too. So
Fret not, followers.
For they shall soon be cut down like the grass and wither as the green herb.
yeah, so this simile is a stock image in biblical poetry. It is especially concrete for someone living in the climate of the Near East, where after the rainy season ends in late spring, there is great heat and no precipitation, so that everything green becomes parched and quickly withers.
Yes. Trust in the Lord and do good. So shall thou dwell in the land, and verily thou shalt be fed. Delight thyself also in the Lord, and he shall give thee the desires of thine heart. Commit thy way unto the Lord, trust also in him, and he shall bring it to pass. And he shall bring forth thy righteousness as the light, and thy judgment as the noonday. Rest in the Lord, and wait patiently for him. Fret not thyself because of him that prospereth in his way, because of the man who bringeth wicked devices to pass.
Yeah, so this is all the kind of Job stuff, with this is pretty much what Elihu would say.
Yes, but we do get contradictory images here because in Psalm 35, he says outright, stir up thyself and awake to my judgment. Like saying to outright judge these people on their behalf. And in Psalm 37, they're saying not to be concerned with that at all. Cease from anger and forsake wrath. Fret not thyself in any wise to do evil. For evildoers shall be cut off, but those that wait upon the Lord, they shall inherit the earth. For yet a little while, and the wicked shall not be. Yea, thou shalt diligently consider his place, and it shall not be. But the meek shall inherit the earth, and shall delight themselves in the abundance of peace. That phrase, the meek shall inherit the
Super
earth,
used a lot.
is very popular.
Yes, it is.
Is there a comment
There isn't a comment on that. No.
Ooh.
I have some comments on
No, but
that.
I mean, if you know anything about the New Testament, you don't even need the commentary on it.
Well,
Okay.
what did it allude to in the New Testament
That
specifically?
the meek will inherit the earth.
Is it
It's
something Jesus
literally
usually
Jesus
says?
saying
Yeah.
that this will happen. He's quoting the psalm.
He
Obviously.
quotes Psalms a lot.
Yeah.
Ah, okay. And that explains why so many of these verses sound similar to his stuff. 'cause
yes.
Quite literally, he just says it again.
Yes,
Okay.
and then the epistles talk about it, or reference these too.
Yes. This also references Sword of the Meek and Magic the Gathering and Meek Stone.
No, it doesn't. Those reference this.
Oh my God! No way.
Yep. The wicked plot.
I'm pretty sure the Bible is the only place where the word meek is used.
Ever.
That's a joke, guys.
Mm.
But okay. Sorry, continue. Thank you. I'm here all night.
Yes.
Woo, get off the stage. The wicked plotteth against the just, and gnasheth upon him with his teeth. The Lord shall laugh at him, for he seeth that his day is coming. The wicked have drawn out the wicked have drawn out the sword, and have bent their bow to cast down the poor and needy, and to slay such as be of upright conversation. Their sword shall enter into their own heart, and their bows shall be broken. That's kind of like Saul.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, Saul fell on his sword.
sure.
I mean,
If you were to believe one account
Yeah,
over the other.
I feel like that was account 1 and 3, and they were still different because he got finished by an
No,
anvil in account 3.
No, there were only two of them. There was
Well, I remember there being different phrasings.
there was
book.
the one at the end of for what book was that? Was that First Samuel? Was it
No.
Second Samuel?
Second
It must
Samuel.
have been 2 Samuel.
Okay, yeah. So
But he died
Second
twice.
Samuel, and then in
in
First
different
Kings,
ways.
Mhm.
it's the Amalekite telling the story of how he died, and it was totally different.
Yeah.
So it depends on who you believe.
A bunch of liars.
Okay, their bows shall be broken. A little that a righteous man hath is better than the riches of many wicked. For the arms of the wicked shall be broken, but the Lord upholdeth the righteous. The Lord knoweth the days of the upright, and their inheritance shall be forever. They shall not be ashamed in the evil time, and in the days of famine they shall be satisfied. But the wicked shall perish, and the enemies of the Lord shall be as the fat of lambs. They shall consume, into smoke shall they consume away.
Whoa, this is kind of different. This is actually very different. So verse 20, for the wicked shall perish, and the foes of the Lord, like the meadows green, gone in smoke, gone. So that's very different. So I'm going to talk about this a little bit.
Okay.
Meadows green, yakar karim, might be a metaphor, literally meadows splendor, for grass, although this translation prefers to see the yakar, splendor, a simple reversal of consonants for yarak, green. Some interpreters understand karim as its homonym, sheep. And so imagine that sheep's splendor refers to the fat of the animal burned, quote, in smoke on the altar.
Right.
But that reading seems rather strained. The entire verse set in the Hebrew is notable for its alliteration and assonance.
So what do we think about the age range of this psalm? When do you think it was made?
I have no idea, man.
I know we don't normally know, and sometimes
Yeah, there's no commentary
It
on it.
was
no commentary.
almost certainly post-Davidic.
I gotta
I mean,
guess
yeah,
that it has to
it's
be
a
after
definitely-
the tabernacle.
Yeah,
they
because
have
if you're
all this-
referencing and
yeah,
And if
Depends.
they're referencing like animal sacrifices, that really happened more often after the temple
Yeah.
was set up in Jerusalem.
yeah.
and they've been referencing. I mean, it's a Psalm of David, so I'm gonna go with that's the style at the time. And they didn't have the temple though, did they back then?
No.
No. Okay.
The wicked borroweth and payeth not again, but the righteous show mercy and giveth. For such as be blessed of him shall inherit the earth, and they that be cursed of him shall be cut off. The steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord, and he delighteth in his way. Though he fall, he shall not be utterly cast down, for the Lord upholdeth him with his hand. I have been young, and now am old. Me too, bud.
I feel you.
Yeah. Oh, my knees. Damn kids, get off my lawn.
I've fallen and I can't get up.
Yeah.
Still need that get off my lawn shirt for the Iron Chariots with God.
Oh, yeah.
Yet have I not seen the righteous forsaken, nor his seed begging bread. I've seen a lot of righteous people forsaken and their kids homeless and starving.
Yeah, these things happen.
It's God's
But you know
plan.
what? Yes, it's God's plan, but also they're just not worshiping right because apparently free will and determinism.
Oh boy, gee, you need to do exactly this thing to have free will.
Yeah, that
Good-
makes
good
a lot
job.
of sense. He is ever merciful and lendeth, and his seed is blessed. Depart from evil and do good, and dwell forevermore. For the Lord loveth judgment, and forsaketh not his saints. They are preserved forever, but the seed of the wicked shall be cut off. The righteous shall inherit the land, and dwell therein forever. The mouth of the righteous speaketh wisdom, and his tongue talketh of judgment. So the righteous person is the kind of guy that walks around with the picket sign that says "End is nigh." Repent.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, that's exactly
That's right.
it.
Every doomsayer is the epitome of righteousness.
Great. The law of his God is in his heart. None of his steps shall slide. The wicked watcheth the righteous, and seeketh to slay him. The Lord will not leave him in his hand, nor condemn him when he is judged.
Oh, this explains the entire victim complex, the persecution narratives. It's right in here, saying that the wicked are always going after the good guys.
Yeah.
And you guys are the good guys. Therefore, the wicked are always going after you,
Oh man,
You
even
know-
if like what you say,
even when
is-
they're not.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm
Definitely
sure
wicked.
all those Holocaust survivors really appreciate this psalm and how
I'm
it says.
sure they do.
Ooh, great.
A lot of people.
Because without this, they wouldn't know that the Nazis were bad.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
this is how you
yeah.
know.
Wait on the Lord and keep his way, and he shall exalt thee to inherit the land. When the wicked are cut off, thou shalt see it. I have seen the wicked in great power, and spreading himself like a green bay tree.
A
that?
Green Bay tree.
Is
That
a
sounds
tree in Green Bay.
That's our new football team, the Green Bay Tree.
the Green Bay trees. They're biblical. They're not epic. They're biblical. Which verse was that?
35.
Oh, okay. I have seen an arrogant, wicked man taking root like a flourishing plant.
Mm-hmm.
I like Green Bay tree.
Yeah, Green Bay
Green Bay
Tree is
Tree.
way better.
You know what? That's a shirt too.
Green Bay Tree.
The Green Bay trees.
Yeah, and we can put Packers number on it or whatever. I don't care.
Yeah.
It could be a
something
sports
like that.
tee.
It can
We
be
we have our
anybody's
first-
number.
We can have our first sports tee. That's funny.
Yeah. Ah, man.
Do you want a
Or a
sport? Do you want a sports tee, Ruben? Would you wear that? Would you come in here looking like a
well, if
football
you make
man?
it green and gold, we can't.
You're gonna
Not
have
green
a
and
pretty
gold.
distorted
Oh
shirt.
shit, you're right. Yeah. Well, whatever. It'll work.
Yeah. You know,
Well, hello, Green Bayer. Looks like
They
there's
talk-
something special about your city.
they talk about like judgment and inheritance of the land. Is it possible that this inheritance of the land is a reference to the dead rising from their graves and the thus being judged on the day of judgment, as was outlined in First Enoch?
I don't think so because this seems to talk about while they're alive.
Mhm.
Yeah, like during life, there are these good and these bad people. You're the good guys, they're the bad guys. They're coming after you.
It's black and white. You know the difference. Come on.
But I mean, it says when the wicked are cut off, right? And that like creates the same kind of imagery, at least from my perspective, right? Because during judgment, the wicked.
Oh yeah, I
all
guess
get-
maybe that. Yeah, I see what you're going for. There's no commentary on that. There is, however, actually, I just noticed this commentary on the the good old Green Bay tree.
Nice.
This of course it says flourishing plant. This line picks up the image from the beginning of the poem of the ephemerality of the triumph of evil as the transience of green growing things. It participates in the exhortation to the listener not to be perturbed by the seeming success of the wicked, for this success will soon be reversed. That's all he says about it.
Yet he passed away, and lo, he was not. Yea, I sought him, but he could not be found. Mark the perfect man, and behold,
Old.
the upright. For the end of that man is peace. But the transgressors shall be destroyed together. The end of the wicked shall be cut off. What is the end of the wicked?
It says it's just the future of the wicked will be cut off. Yeah.
Okay. But the salvation of the righteous is of the Lord. He is their strength in the time of trouble. And the Lord shall help them and deliver them. He shall deliver them from the wicked and save them because they trust in him. And that is the end of Psalm 37.
A lot of Job stuff, a lot of stuff about problem of evil, shit like that.
Now, not next week, but I think the week after we're getting into the second book of Psalms.
Yes, you're exactly right.
Yes.
And it'll still be December, right? Yeah.
So,
Will it?
Oh, no.
No, it'll be the
No,
new
it-
year.
It'll be a new year.
Yep, it will be a
2020.
new year.
What day? The 1st?
I don't think it'll be the first. No. So next week we are finishing up the first Solstice.
yes.
And that's the 29th. And then on the 5th, that's going to be the one after that.
Cool.
Okay.
Well,
Oh, so Sunday 29th?
Yeah.
All right.
Which would make sense 7 days from the 22nd.
Right. And maybe we'll do a New Year's stream.
Yeah, New Year's
Tuesday?
stream. Yeah. Right. That's right. Because it's the end of the show, I can do this now. So on Christmas at some point in the afternoon, I'll probably be doing, an open to all patrons stream. We'll talk about whatever the hell you want. So if you want in on that,
25th.
yeah, 25th,
Not gonna be
obviously.
there. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, I'll do it. It's fine.
Just Lawrence.
So you just go to the Patreon. There's a lot of cool stuff on there. Become a patron if you want to know that, or if you want some of the other fantastic rewards that we have.
yeah, and if you join Patreon right now for $1, then you can get in on that stream. And if you
And
want
I'll-
to stop donating to us after that, I guess you can.
That's fine
It's
too.
$1 to hang out.
Yeah.
Ooh.
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 And also all access to all the video scripts, a lot of cool stuff. T-shirts. Also,
T-shirts.
go to Teespring because until the end of the year,
you can
get
use Behold in all
Behold.
caps. for
Promo code.
20% off.
promo code BEHOLD. And that's going to get you 20% off all merchandise on our Teespring store until the end of the year.
Speaking of Behold, how many Beholds did we have
That's
today?
right. Today's Behold count, one moment please, is 3.
Three
Yes.
Beholds.
And I got to quick proc that up. There you go.
Thank you.
Once we're done with all of this, it's going to be really convenient to go through and
See how
add
many
up
Beholds there are
Beholds there are.
in the whole Bible.
Yeah, actually, we do have a pretty good count, but at the
It's
maybe
in
the
the
we
first
didn't do
10
it. Yeah, we didn't do it at the
12
beginning.
episodes didn't have any Behold counts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, for sure.
Well, without further ado,
Well, hold on. Some other stuff. Facebook, Twitter, our wish list, our Amazon wish list. The link
Yes.
is in the description.
if you're feeling giving this holiday
This
season
holiday season.
and you would like to send Lawrence a good little Hanukkah present,
Yes.
Yes.
Hanukkah.
Hanukkah, or a Yule gift.
Yeah, lots of books on there. So if you want to see a video on a topic, you can buy a book about it. That's in the wish list, and you will eventually will use it as a source.
Absolutely.
Eventually.
Yeah. No,
What?
there's a lot of cool stuff on
We
there.
have been using them. You can see.
Yeah, we absolutely have been. There's a whole bunch of stuff here.
I could zoom out, but that would require getting up.
Yes.
You know, there are mugs, right?
Yeah, we have mugs.
We should get those mugs and use them on the show.
That's
Yeah,
a
you're
good
right.
idea.
We should do that. Good advertising.
Mhm.
I like some new mugs.
Okay. Yeah, we can pick
really
up some mugs.
sick of seeing that "Thank God for Girlfriends" one.
Yeah, that's true.
I love it because it triggers Chris.
It triggers me so bad.
Yes, a Festivus
A
gift would
Festivus
be
gift.
great.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Saturnalia too, that'd be fun.
You know,
Kwanzaa. Everyone forgets.
Rand Paul calls his waste report where he outlines government waste at the end of the year the Festivus waste report.
That's nice.
I know.
All right. Well, anyways, that is the end of the show for today. And because we don't have the graphic made yet, we will see you on Sunday.
Thanks for watching.
Bye.